sister. But it certainly, this whole question's about the relationship between 16-year-old Hannah Anderson and 40-year-old Jim DiMaggio. It made us wonder, you know, about ourselves and our own families. How close is too close? So Dr. Tiff is joining me to analyze this and what we're calling crossing the line. Okay, Dr. Tiff?
Yep.
So this was, you know, a family friend. It was kind of an uncle type. So we're wondering, first of all, is it okay for him to occasionally pick Hannah up, say, from, you know, from school? Or is that crossing the line?
Well, with the parents' permission, I say yes. They knew this man, or at least they thought they did. And so it is up to each parent. Each parent has the responsibility to vet anybody that's taking care of their kid, that's giving them a ride, that's taking care of them, babysitting, any of that. It's the parents' responsibility, but I say yes, because they knew him.
Okay, so no, it does not cross the line.
No, it does not cross the line.
It does not cross the line. Okay. Secondly, what about, you know, her driving with her friends around to the movies and the mall and the beach? I mean, if he takes her to these places, yes or no? Crossing the line?
I don't necessarily think it's crossing the line. I think it is okay because the parents knew him, felt comfortable with him, and I think a lot of people are in the same predicament. Maybe it's a single parent who needs help, who can't do everything, and really needs that extra person to kind of, hey, can you pick my kid up from school, or do you mind taking them over to the grocery store to buy something? I think it's okay, with the parents' permission, of course.
Okay, so no, that's not crossing the line, as you see there. Is it okay for a grown man to mentor a teenage girl one-on-one?
Now, here's where it gets tricky, because I think, Christy, what are you mentoring them on? Is it guitar lessons? Is it how to hit a racket or play tennis? If it's something like that, maybe, but it would not be. If I'm the parent, it wouldn't be without my knowledge. I need to know where you are, what time you're going, what time you're coming home. I'm going to ask you questions about it. I might pop up at that mentoring session. I want to know everything that's going on.
Okay, but there's a gray area there.
There is a gray area there, for sure.
Okay. What about, and we know that this happened in this case, so that's why we're asking it, what about a 40-year-old who texts a 16-year-old girl?
I must say emphatically, yes, this is crossing the line, because I can't think of one scenario where this would be okay, especially if the parents didn't have knowledge of it. There's no reason, I don't, what are we talking about? I have no idea why a 40-year-old man would want to contact and text a 16-year-old girl.
What about it? What about a day trip to Hollywood alone?
Again,
okay, or does it cross the line?
Cross the line. What are we doing? Why are we traveling together? This is not your travel companion or your buddy. I would have a problem as a parent allowing my 16-year-old to go out of town with a 40-year-old on a day trip. And remember, this wasn't even just a day trip, right? This was several days.
This was several days.
Yeah.
And again, I know that's part of this case that we're talking about here,
right,
but we're trying to generalize it so we as
family
members and parents can understand it, because we don't want to blame this family by any means.
No,
we're not doing that. And the other question is, and this obviously very general, is it different for same-sex adults and teenagers? In any of these cases?
The truth of the matter, it probably is. I can see where an aunt or an aunt figure might have been, we might feel a little bit differently if this was a female aunt figure or person. But the bottom line is each parent needs to know who their kid is hanging out with. And certainly, if you have that feeling in your gut, don't ignore it. If something seems a little fishy, just listen to that feeling. It's better to be wrong and have listened to your gut than not listen to your gut and end up in a situation that is really, really tragic.
Boy, is that some truth that we are hearing today. Thank you so much. That is so true. Hey, listen to this.